Hey everybody, it's Carrie, and I've got to take this time right now to tell you about my friend Cody. You see, Cody's the man who is behind those sweet headers that Nick and I have at both our team Twitter, our individual Twitters, our Facebooks, and even our YouTube channel. Cody's a graphic designer, one of the best graphic designers I've ever seen. He's done graphic design work specifically for professional wrestling, branding, television, and feature films. He's worked with promotions across the Southeast, including Scenic City Invitational, Anarchy Wrestling, Platinum Championship Wrestling, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, which is one of my favorite feds to work for, Georgia Premier Wrestling, and many, many more. He's also designed for television shows on networks such as the CW, HBO, Showtime, MTV, BET, and the IFC. If you would like to go on and make that extra step to give that nice little flair of individuality along with professionalism, you should contact him. And you can do that through a multitude of ways. Cody Wynn Designs at KODYWYNNE.com, Facebook.com/Uncle Cody, and not to mention Gmail, because, you know, who doesn't like to get a nice email professionally sent from one professional to another? And that's going to be over at KODYWYNNE@gmail.com. Now go on, take the extra step, and make it look like you're a professional wrestler. Go on and take the extra step to show everybody you care enough about yourself to invest in yourself, and you want everyone else to see that. Again, Cody Wynn Designs. Now, to the show.
Dog Days is a pro wrestling podcast that may include themes such as graphic language, references to violence, and other adult themes. The views expressed are those of its host and guests and do not reflect that of its sponsors or pro wrestling ponderings. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, it's me, Carrie. As you can see, we are trying something new today for Pro Wrestling Ponderings, and we are doing the very first ever video podcast for Dog Days. I'm trying something new because, well, I thought it'd be fun to try something new. And because of that, there's going to be some hiccups. I'm sure this audio is going to be really hard to listen, but hopefully with the video attached to it, it'll make it a little bit easier. Today I've got my good friend Gary J on. I've known Gary for many, many years. He's a character, he's funny, he's a good dude, an amazing worker, and hopefully you learned something about Gary today. Granted that for some of you this will be a video podcast, what I'm going to try to do is use some of the old audio clips, mix them with new visual aids that I've pulled from YouTube. Make sure that you go and check all of them out. Shout out to Pro Wrestling Ponderings as always for being super cool about letting me try new things like this, right? Hopefully we'll have more stuff coming more often for you. And other than that, I hope you enjoy the show. You know, I miss doing this, but as always, life always keeps me super, super busy. But that's a good thing, right? Better to be busy than to be bored. With that being said, we're going to go to some quick commercial breaks. And from there, we're going to go and catch in with Gary J. It's going to be a quick one. There will be no ending credits today. If you would, check out FULLYGIMMICKED.com, it's the Carnies, PROWRESTLINGTEES.com/the-Carnies. Help support us as we help do what we love to do. Anyways, thanks. Bye.
What is up, Internet Wrestling community? Steve Guy here, ring announcer for Absolute Intense Wrestling, or as you may know it, AIW, and one of the voices that you can hear every week on AIW's podcast, The Card is Going to Change. Add us to your weekly listens and download us from pretty much wherever you stream podcasts from, whether it be iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Libsyn, The platforms seem to be endless for us. It's AIW's The Card is Going to Change, and it's an all-access, behind-the-scenes look on what it's like running an independent wrestling promotion today. Also, come visit us for one of our live events in Cleveland, Ohio. For ticketing information, head to shop.aiwrestling.com. Or, if you can't make it up to one of the shows, then purchase one of our previous shows on DVD or MP4 download streaming, featuring, of course, your favorite tag team, the Carnies, in action in some of those shows. For all of that, head to smartmarkvideo.com. Once again, it's shop.aiwrestling.com for ticketing information, or smartmarkvideo.com for our past shows, and of course, AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Follow us on Twitter @AIWrestling. And now, folks, back to your show.
Audio and visual podcast with myself, Gary Opel on Dog Days, the Stiff Robo Ginger, probably my favorite underdog on all of the indie wrestling scene that I've ever been a part of, which is only a small part of it. The Ace of Anarchy, or one of the Aces of Anarchy in my opinion, probably the hardest working man in the Midwest, Southeast, and anywhere else that you can get into a car and show yourself up at. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing terrific. Ironically, I just got back from the gas station because the wife said she wanted a six-pack. So I was like, let me run out and grab that for you before I start this.
Good husband duties, man. That's what you should do.
It's a rare Friday night that I'm home, so you got to act like, you know.
Yeah, that we're physically and mentally here, right?
Yeah, right.
So, Gary, I think the first time that I remember meeting you was probably either the Beyond St. Louis taping or maybe Ian's at IWA Mid-South. The first time I met you in the locker room, you were the most grizzled person I knew with a flip phone, telling me I should quit the business, and I thought, God bless, that guy is an asshole. Oh my God. And then progressively, as I got to know you, I realized that you were joking. And actually, one of the few bright sides of independent wrestling locker rooms, every time I get to see you, just an awesome dude who helped me and Nick out, you know, granted through cynicism, but always from the heart. And it's something that I really appreciate from you and that you've given to us. I think most people would be familiar with you where they see you all over the place, but mostly the St. Louis area with you and the rest of the Submission Squad as the core unit of boys who have held the scene together as it now flourishes and has a thriving scene. I don't want to shortchange you going down to Texas up to Beyond. Everywhere in between, of course, FIP, as it goes. Where did you start? Like, what was the first year of Gary J wrestling? Like, how did you decide I'm going to be a wrestler?
The first year of Gary J there was no Gary J.
What was he?
Extreme Gary J in 2003, who had his first match, and he was pretty much Jeff Hardy.
God bless. I think that's like everybody, like at least of our age group demographic. We all are like, what kind of wrestler do you want to be? And we all pick up the Jinkos because we have them in the closet, and we all put on like tight T-shirts, and we're like, I'm gonna be a Hardy boy. Dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it, dun. We do flips on trampolines.
My first match had a ladder in it for no ungodly reason. I'd only been training for maybe 2 months. So why not have a ladder? Because that's what you need. You know, you gotta get over it.
I mean, you know, if you're gonna do the deal, you're gonna do the deal. Hearing Jeff Hardy ladder first match in Gary J seems a completely foreign topic or idea to me. When I think of Gary J, I think of this wonderfully hard-hitting, you know, plucky underdog character. I think you still had what's it called, Gary the Barnyard Owl for a little bit. I think you were still doing that.
I started off as Extreme Gary J, and you know he didn't have what it took. I met some other people.
He wasn't tough enough.
Yeah, I wasn't grizzled yet. I was a young green boy.
God bless.
So basically, I met some people, to make this story short, because I could go on for about 6 hours about it. I met some people, they started training us, and they're like, this is garbage. We're going to be a character because you have no clue what you're doing in the ring yet. So they gave me Gary the Barn Owl. Something I hated because I was Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy was not an owl.
God damn. But on the plus side, that was the gimmick that you used to get in Chikara, was it not?
Oh, absolutely. And like, if you look at the big picture and everything now, I was getting the barn out because I had no personality, I had no clue what I was doing, and I was terrible in the ring. Not far after I got the character, I really started liking it and getting into it and like being really like character driven, and I wasn't quite there in the ring. So it all just kind of worked towards the major goal of being good at both sides.
Absolutely. And I know that's going to be one of those things that a lot of guys think just comes easy. I know that, like, when I started wrestling, I had this idea of I was going to be Samoa Joe and CM Punk mixed together, and I was going to knee strike people and Yakuza kick them, which I did to horrible reviews from everyone I wrestled with. But there's that giant learning curve and process. For you, it was the Barnyard Owl. For me, it was the dog, which at the time I liked, but now I like. It's not that I despise it, but I grossly hate that I didn't believe in myself enough to kind of like pursue a more serious role. With Gary J and everything that I associate with it, I think one of my earliest memories of watching you wrestle outside of wrestling me and Nick, because that was straight Memphis, you played to our strengths because you knew we weren't ready, was just the brutality of your strikes and how hard you hit. I always rib you about the time you and Trip Cassidy wrestled at Ian Rotten's at IWA Mid-South, and you caught him in the ear with like a horse hoof neck strike or something, and then his gauge ripped by accident, of course. You know, I always like to bust your balls and say you were shooting on Brother Trip.
Brother.
How did you come accustomed to that style? Because you were one, like, outside of like Kyle Matthews at the time and maybe Jimmy Rave, and of course like indie all-stars of the time like Roderick Strong, you're the first guy that I really saw that went out there, and when you chopped somebody, good God, did you chop them? It sounded like thunder clapping. Or even with your forearm strikes, when you unload a strike, it was there and it looked like, good God, what a punch out of a guy with a tinier frame. Was it a lot of studying, or like what was your thought process with getting to that?
Really not a lot of studying. Is like I really didn't know what I had, the first 6 years. Like Gary the Barn Owl and then Gary J at the time, because I was both, I was on Gary the Barn Owl at LWA in St. Louis, and I was Gary J like locally, because locally is all I did at that time. I didn't start getting like out past Illinois state lines and farther for the first 4 or 5 years. I was just the same area, so like I didn't really know anything about strikes or chops. Like I had no clue what I had, and then as like I realized what I kind of had, it was like maybe 7 years in my career before I really realized, like, oh wow, like okay, like people think this is like legit, and by all means it is legit. Don't mess with it. But I didn't really know what I had until about 7, 8 years in, because I honestly don't think I really knew what Gary J was until almost 7 years in wrestling.
Yeah.
And you probably exactly know what I'm talking about, because like
absolutely, man. It's like every time you go out to the ring, or maybe it's a new angle or a new fed, it's like in the middle of a match, time stops, and you have this light bulb over your head like a cartoon, and you're like, oh, wrestling's so much easier than I'm making it out to be. Why didn't I try this originally, or why didn't I emphasize this originally?
Because we needed to get our shit in, and we needed ladders in our first matches. That's why.
I've never had a ladder match. I had a cage match my first year in, where I gigged for the promoter.
Right.
Me versus the promoter, who was an untrained guy. No storyline really built up to it. I'll never forget, we were both trying to get color, and I got color, and he went for color, and I stomped on his hand and kicked the blade out, and I was like, I'm not bleeding with you today, motherfucker.
Good Lord, that's god-awful. Why would you tell that story in public?
Because I look, my closet has no skeletons. Everything's out in the open.
It's staying shut.
Oh, well, we'll see how this podcast goes first.
Actually, I'm going to get my cats involved. It's going to get real interesting. But
I see the one up in the top corner there lurking us.
Yeah, I really didn't. Yeah, no kidding. That's Bam Bam. She's straight up all in this. Should she get paid for that?
Oh no, she's taking a powder.
Yeah, good business, kid. Anyways, yeah, I didn't really know what Gary J was until about 7 years in. But like, as it went on, like 7, 8, 9 years in, like that's when I really started like knowing what I was doing. Like, you go through the motion for so long, you really don't get it. You're like, I'm just gonna do what I'm told, and then you realize, okay, I kind of got a grasp of this. I'm gonna do what I'm not told and see what happens. And ironically, that works the best. I mean, speaking from what I've had, which is not much, but at the same time, I feel I've been around and I've got some good opportunities.
One thing that I always like to pick your brain about, and one thing that I think really sets you apart from everyone else is it harkens back to that rule of doing everything you're not supposed to. I've seen you start a match with a double down before, and I think that and no one expects it. They're all expecting the chain wrestling and the back and forth and all that, contrived stuff. And out the gate, two guys charge at each other, hit each other as hard as they can, and they're both knocked out for a second. What was the thought process for you to come to that tool in your toolbox? Because to me, it's definitively Gary J.
The Gary J toolbox, well, considering I don't pay rent much, I don't have a toolbox.
The rent's due.
Really, I get sick of seeing the same shit over and over and over again. A lot of the shows I'm on and a lot of stuff I watch, it's great and phenomenal, but it's the same thing. It's the same sequence. It's the same way getting into stuff, which is great. But if you want to stand out and try to get anywhere and try to make any kind of money, you have to be different.
Absolutely.
No matter what you're doing, character, promo, in-ring, just a little sell is a little different than someone else. That might get you over, and that might get noticed by someone that's above you or bigger, and you might get a bigger opportunity. If you do the same spot that was in the first match that was in the main event, then what's the difference?
Absolutely.
I'm not really big on Southern style wrestling, and by all means, I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just not my cup of tea. If they want to do stuff by the book, the way the book was written, and fucking burn the book to the ground, by all means, cool. But the way I look at it is, if I'm booked on a show to be who I am, to do what I can do, and then also going there with a guy most of the time now that is just as good as me, if not better, why aren't we going to go out there and tear the fucking house down, regardless of where we are? Because I feel that's what the promoter wants. That's what the people want. You're working for the paying customer. You're not working for yourself.
Absolutely. And that's something that I always admired of you also. Because I've been on shows with you where there was maybe 10 people in the crowd. I've been on shows with you where there were several hundred in the building. But you've never changed and never taken a night off. You refuse to do that. And that includes suicide dives, stupid bumps on your head, German suplexes on the apron into the turnbuckles on the outside. And it's such an admirable trait, and I know a lot of people would probably shit on that. A lot of people would say, oh, brother, you only got so many bumps on the bump card, and that's true, but like you said, who knows? The person who sees you taking that German from the apron on the outside may not think that that's a silly bump. They might think, man, that guy has heart for days, or that guy really wants to deliver for the fans that are there. And I think that that's such a special quality that a lot of people take for granted. I know that there have been times, and I've never really felt like I phoned a match in, but I know there are times where I was like, tonight's not the night for a gamble. I'm going to work a little bit different style. But then again, there's a reason why you constantly, steal shows, as the cliche phrase goes or whatever. And you also have this innate ability, while getting yourself over, you always get your opponents over. You helped Trip Cassidy do it at AWE. You and Epic's on-again, off-again feud has really helped reestablish Epic in the Midwest and the Southeast, at least to me and the times that I've seen you. To me, I always think when I go into a match, it should be... Oh, the cat. I just saw the cat again. That's good.
Cameo from the cat.
To me, I always try to think, okay, what can I do to help tell a story, help get Nick and I over, but also to help get the other guy over? Because if I can help get them over, I know by proxy all of my stuff and Nick's stuff's going to be equally as over. Do you have a specific mindset or formula, or is there something that you...
Ironically, I could have my cat Dino, who's right now stalking us, licking himself with a mustache. As crazy as it sounds, it's one of those things where you don't know what you have until someone points it out. I never went into this going, oh, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing, because we all know we started for one reason and now we're doing it for another, or we're a complete 180s, now than we were 3-4 years ago.
Absolutely.
So, when it comes to, my main priority, if I'm on shows now, I'm going to pull the old Grizzled Vet card, brother. God damn, I hate it.
It's the boys.
The boys! Oh, that's a complete shit fest of a show right there. But
we're going to touch on the topic of the boys in the locker room for you.
Oh, yeah. Don't start me on the rants in Tennessee, brother. But, the way I look at it is I'm on these shows now to help guys with, placement and just, finding themselves and what they can and can't handle. So, I'm going to take the approach of like, okay, like I want to have a good match. I want to look good. But a lot of times you go to these places for the first time, your job is to help them look good. In turn, you're going to look just as good because you made that person do something they've never done before or made them work harder than they've ever worked before. Because every time I'm in the ring with someone that's a billion times better than me, a Sammy Callahan, a John Grisham, a Davey Richards, a Mike Quackenbush, Roderick Strong, dropping those names out of that hat. But even the old El Generico guy, like, they did that to me. They pushed me to the point where I didn't know that existed. And now you have to do that to other people because how's wrestling as a whole in a business going to get better if no one's pushing themselves? If they're just on autopilot, it's going to be a really boring show. We're not going to get anywhere. So the goal is to make people work hard and still have a good time. But at the end of the day, they're like, wow, I've never thought of that. I've never tried that. Or everybody around here thinks that's dumb. But obviously, it's real dumb when you just got the biggest reaction of the night while old Toucan Sam went out there and did, 1, 2, 3, drop toe hold.
Right, man. And I'm glad you brought up El Generico. I know anyone who follows you on social media, which is at StiffRoboGinger, which you and I have been talking about the importance of social media so much lately, knows of your love of The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. To me, though, when I see you wrestle, it harkens to early stages of El Generico and then 1, 2, 3 Kid era of Sean Waltman, X-Pac, whatever you want to call him.
That was good era.
Dude, to me, it's like you fill a role that not a lot of guys are willing to hop into. Because everybody wants to come into wrestling and they want to be these big badasses like they're Sid or Vader or whoever. And I'm guilty of that now. I wouldn't have been guilty of it a couple years ago, but now most definitely. Oh, no, give me a couple falsies. I'll kick at those,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a conscious choice, but to me, that's what your work screams out. Is that something that people come to you and say? Because, Gary J to me is the underdog that will not stay down. That no matter what it is, even if you only get 1 or 2 things in, they mean so much more because you get more out of you just kicking up and being like, no, you're not going to pin me, or being put in a hold and saying, no, I'm not going to tap. Was that something that you just naturally found while wrestling? Like, this is the role or the archetype that I fit? Or is it something that you don't even view of yourself?
I'm going to go with that one. Until recently, it was a couple months ago at PWF, you're like, yeah, you're like El Generico 1, 2, 3 Kid. And I'm like completely. But, I never really thought about it like that. And then, you mentioned it, and I started thinking about it. I was like, I can see that. A lot of my studying for a lot of, I guess, what I do in the ring or, how I sell or, just mannerisms is I just watch the network via 90. I watch 96, pay-per-views all the time. I watch Shawn Michaels title run 1,000 times a day. And I know that's so goofy, and everybody's like, hey, he's the greatest of all time. But to me, that dude's the greatest of all time. There's no ands, ifs, buts about it. And then you have, Taker, who, yes, I'm not a big badass, and I'm not a dead man, and, I don't do Tombstone. But you can still take stuff away from him, legitimately. If you get hit, you're not going to go, oh, I just got hit, I'm going to look the guy like an idiot. I'm going to get hit, get the fuck out of there. I'm going to get out of the way.
Selling on the run.
If you're in a real fight, you're not going to sit there and get pummeled. If you can get away or get on top, you're going to.
Or even how Taker puts his hands up. Because how many times do you see someone hit someone, bang, and then they're just out there waiting to get hit back?
Yeah, we've all done it. Because there's no perfect match. I mean, if there was a perfect match, it would be Brett and Shawn from WrestleMania 12. And that was an hour.
Oh, man. That's open for debate, but that's for a different time.
Yeah, but anyways, exactly. It's just so small stuff. And yes, everybody's like, well, you lay on your head and do this and that. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff in my matches, or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, I don't have to, because if I do some of those small things with 1 or 2 of those other big spots, that's all I got to do.
Absolutely, man. And I think that's what helps make you so unique in and of yourself. We've probably been doing this for a little bit of time now. I can't see my clock because I'm in full screen mode for the first ever audio-visual marriage of dog days.
Look at that. Napping up top on the fridge.
Just chilling. That's actually the co-host. I might actually load this tomorrow so it can be called Caturday for the episode.
Yeah, awesome, you should.
we talked about it a second ago, and I thought it was pretty funny. You and I always have an ongoing joke about the boys. No, we're not talking about the Ring of Honor stars, the Tate twins. I love both of them tremendously and think they're awesome. But we're talking about the mentality of workers maybe refusing to work hard in a night. And I'm doing this for the boys. That's why I'm not showing you everything I got, or I'm coming to hang out with my boys. kind of vent some of your frustration about that, because I know that I've got some, but I'll let you go first.
That became like a joke because, like, obviously, like, messing with you guys is funny because, like, you're from the South in Tennessee and all that stuff. So, like, I always give you guys shit about the boys. But, like, if you really think about it, like, I have, like, good friends in wrestling. Like, I don't have a lot of good friends in wrestling, but I have very select few that I consider really good friends. And I have a lot of friends that don't even live in the state, and I consider them good friends just because we have that, like, camaraderie. And I'm not going to say the boys are brother to brother because that's bullshit. They're good friends.
Right.
There's only two people I can consider like brothers, and that's Evan Delisco and Peter Abernathy. They're brothers, but like that's not because of wrestling. That's because of everyday life. You know, like that's our relationship.
And y'all's friendship started before wrestling, correct?
My relationship with Jared started in high school, and then Evans is because of wrestling, but it's not just because of wrestling. We're friends.
Right.
It started because of wrestling. We used to hate his guts. He thought we were the clique. Fast forward a year, like we're two peas in a pod, and, you know, we're the two kids that get in trouble all the time.
When you were talking about the boys and the Southern locker rooms in general, and I know that that's normally like a paradigm that I give from this podcast, you are 1,000% right, because the same guys who are touting in their locker room, we're a fraternal brotherhood, which the boys versus the promoters are the same motherfuckers who will try to get you fired, steal your payday, sleep with your wife, steal your gimmicks, you know, whether it's your merch or your actual wrestling gear or your masks or whatever. It's
because
shit.
To them, it's just it's a high, it's like it's a fraternity. It's just like, hey, got a show on Friday in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, or not Tennessee, or it's just every locker room. There's a lot of locker rooms like this. It's beer league softball.
Yep.
You know, to us, it's a business. At the point now, it is a business. Because,
absolutely.
Yes, we make money. Are we rich and famous off it? No. Do we make money and pay some bills? Yes. At the same time, we still burn the candle at both ends with that and what we do in our real lives.
Absolutely, man. And it's always, for people that do go full into wrestling, for people who try to pay bills for wrestling, and I have been very blessed, and I've been open about it. Like, I don't pay my mortgage with it by any means. But do I pay my cable bill with wrestling? Yes. Do I pay water and electric? Yes. Do I pay all three at the same time if I'm lucky? But
if I can pay my phone bill, I'm like, hell yeah.
Right. And to us, like, it's serious, but like you kind of get that filter to just filter through all these guys' bullshit. All these guys who will tell you whatever you want to hear to get what they want out of you. And then when you catch them on it and call them on it, then all of a sudden he's not down for the boys. And that's,
Well, I used to be terrified of, like, your old vets. Like, you know, the last couple of years I've gotten really outspoken because I just don't care. What are they going to do, blackball me from getting a bag of chips and some fucking nachos? I'm sorry, bro. Here's your payday. Get fucked. Like, like, at the end of the day, like, this is a business, and, like, I like to have fun because this kind of touches on what you said earlier. Like, everybody kind of wants to be a badass. I don't go in there portraying a badass, but I can fight.
And that's another part of your character that I think is so charming, is that, and NWL touches on it a little bit with the Jay Lutz character, is that, are you conventionally some jacked up guy with muscles out the gill that fights MMA? No. Are you the guy at the end of the bar that I might look at and I hear him say he talk some shit? You're the guy I'm going to think twice and be like, man, I don't know, that guy looks kind of wild. He looks like he's seen some shit. I don't know if I want to throw hands with him.
Oh, you don't want to throw bows with this bow god, but that should be a shirt. Fully gimmick, hit that shirt up, bow god. Because I'm scrappy, I'm wiry, and I'm energetic for no good all the time. Even, you know, when it comes to just sitting on the couch, you know, like I'm always really animated for the most part. There's certain times in my life where I'm pretty calm, and I just turn the light out and I shut the world out. Those are some good times, though. I'm not going to argue about that. I love those times, too. But, like, I'm usually pretty wiry and I'm pretty quirky, so why wouldn't I involve that in what I do in the ring?
Absolutely, because that's how you get the best version of yourself in wrestling. To me, I want to be the most idealized version of Kerry, and that is a mixture between being halfway sad and being incredibly angry and wanting to break stuff. And, you know, that's who I am in real life, and that's who I am in wrestling.
You should be full-time Kerry and just quit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Kid.
That's actually number 3 on my to-do list, right after get rich, get famous, then quit the business. I'm still working on 1 and 2, but I know when I get those, 3's going to be easy.
3's going to be great.
Oh, God, isn't it? Fuck. Earlier, we were talking about paying bills with it and paying rent. The rent is due. If I'm not mistaken, podcast, I think, is what it was. But that, I remember people cheering and chanting that at you at Anarchy about the rent is due. I think that that is one of the best phrases that should be marketed to its fullest potential, because as a person who is a fighter, who is an underdog, who is talking about, as we are now, paying, cell phone bills with blood, sweat, tears, and bumps. The rent is due is a unique concept, and I think it's a broader concept than what you previously used for your marketing. What is that origin? What's the actual story of the rent is due?
It's kind of funny. It actually all stems from some shitty promotion that runs across the bridge for me in Illinois. And basically, the guy's name is The Landlord. Like, he runs a show, and he has a character called The Landlord.
Good God.
Look him up. And then his catchphrase is rent's due. Just rent's due. So then me and my 2 buddies that have nothing to do with wrestling wanted to start doing a podcast and doing, like, stand-up comedy and just, yucking it up because I love attention. So then, I was like, why don't we call it rent is due? Because I just wanted to make that phrase more popular than he ever could. Only 2 months. Just joking around doing it. And then in Anarchy, they became so oblivious and, they followed everything I did at the time. So, of course they started chanting it. And to me, it's funny. It just started off as a joke, and, it's a podcast now. And, we try to get together as much as possible. It's just when our schedules conflict, it sucks.
Now, I think it should be on every T-shirt, bumper sticker, and everything else. That even a ring introduction. He is the stiff robo ginger Gary, and yes, the rent is due, Jay. I think the marketing behind it is really, really, really smart. You said rent's due, and that's the catchphrase. That makes it sound like rent is a person or like a female, and it's due for birth. Rent's due next Saturday.
I agree on that one. He got really mad because Jay Lutz said something in the NWL promo about rent is due, and I guess he finally turned on the YouTube, and he got all pissy and was like, blah blah blah. I was like, hey brother, it's mine. Rent is due. Yours is rent's due. Not same thing.
Oh,
you can have that one, brother.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good.
I mean, and once again, it's not to shit on something, but it's just someone who doesn't get it as a business and tells his friends and his college roommates that I'm a wrestler and blah blah blah. Well, not me. Very few times do I wrestle in front of friends and family. Very few.
My family doesn't like to watch me wrestle, so they don't.
Either.
I had a weird moment at the barber shop the other day. My barber's maybe 2 blocks from my house, and this guy I went to high school with came in. Yeah. I thought it was him, and he thought it was me, and before he left, he sat down, and we started catching up. And I was, completely oblivious to the fact, because you know how Facebook goes. Mine's been maxed out with 5,000 friends for God knows how long. And he was on there, and he was talking to me, and he was like, oh, I used to think it was a hobby, but now I see all these videos and T-shirts and stuff, and it's a business, and, you tell them, thank you so much, and stuff like that. But it's always such a weird disconnect when you talk to people from the real world that weren't wrestling fans or knew you in a completely different context, and it's always awkward and horrible.
It's very awkward.
Dude,
it's like going in for a long handshake or hug from a distant relative you've never met before.
Yeah, and you feel like you're obligated to explain, oh, I've missed you so much, god damn it, I barely remember your name,
I love this one. You still wrestling? Yeah, and then you hear the question, but at the same time, I'll just put my head down, I just want to get hit by a bus.
Fuck, always, man. Or, hey, man, when you go into that WWE? Well,
I always
fuck.
say today.
Yeah.
Like right now. Like
as we speak.
I'm going to the pay-per-view.
I'm actually booked right now. I'm going to get in Vince's jet and just fly on out.
Like, and then, like, some people that ask about it who are really genuine, I'll actually have a conversation about it. But, like, those awkward, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't see you on TV. You're not big. I'm like, I get it. Like, all right, cool. Good story.
Fuck. The mention of TV is one of my most infuriating things. So we had, like, local TV in Nashville because, like, wrestling used to always be a staple on TV, whether it's on at 1 in the morning or 1 in the afternoon. Like, that's how people equivalent success in wrestling. When I wasn't doing shit but was on, like, local CW network every Friday, Saturday, everyone's, oh, I'm so proud of you. What have you been up to? Well, I've been going up to New York and Florida and trying to get to Mexico, trying to get to Europe. And they're like, oh, well, that's nice. Why aren't you on the CW anymore? The fuck is this? I mean,
because the fraud kicked us off, brother. That's why.
Dude, right. Mind-boggling how that always goes. And
it's not their fault. Like, people don't understand. Like, it's understandable because, like, obviously to us, professional wrestling, it's very big, but it's a very small minute of the popularity.
Absolutely.
It's weird, but it's true.
And it's weird because, like, you'll go into situations where people at different places, like, you'll be like, yeah, fuck, I'm making some headway. I've got some buzz. These guys know me. And the truth of the matter is we, like you said, we're, like, not even a sliver of the overall consciousness of pop culture. We are guys who are just not even blips on the radars. Now, see, sad Carrie's coming through on this.
No.
He's also truthful Carrie. But it's true, man. I don't even know how we got on this tangent, because I always go on tangents, but fuck. Goddamn TV.
At the end of the day, like, wrestling is like, it's a very large population to us, and it's what we do, and it's our lives, but at the same time, there was a whole mass of pop culture that knows nothing about wrestling. I wish they did, and they may one day, but right now, that's the way it is.
If only we were both old enough and of age in the Attitude Era, brother.
No kidding, man. Just give me a whole bunch of money, and I'll book a whole bunch of shows under a tent.
Absolutely. Dude, actually, that's not a bad idea. No, I'm just kidding. A couple more things. You talked about stand-up comedy. I've seen some of the live streams of it. I enjoyed it. I didn't know if those were open mic nights or if that's something that you're looking to explore more of, because I feel that most people who follow us as human beings, not just as wrestlers, that follow Gary J. the Man and Carrie Awful the Man, know that it's not just working a shoot job in wrestling, that we have other passions and hobbies and things that we like. For myself, I'm a big comic book nerd and just nerd of all sorts of that. I like things that are animated and stories, and I like tattoos and all this other, like, weird trivial stuff. And sometimes I explore it. Like, I've been thinking for, like, weeks now, like, I'm going to start filming every time I get tattooed. Do I ever do it? No. Do I always want to? Yes. Like, my wife loves, like, family blogs, whether it's, like, a marriage blog or two people had a baby and they're filming its entire life. Oh, I know, yeah, the B word's scary. And I always think about wanting to do stuff like that, but then I'm like, oh, if I start it, I'm scared maybe it'll take away from wrestling. You didn't have that trepidation. Like, I remember in a locker room you said, I'm going to start doing comedy, and I was like, fuck, okay. And then one day there it was. I saw it on Facebook. Hey, this is my stand-up, and you got tagged in it. And I was like, God damn it, that's so smart and so good. And it shows multi-layers of who you are as a performer, and I'm not going to say as a man, but as someone who wants to entertain, both physically and emotionally through wrestling, but also through satirical outlooks of your comedy, you know? Was that something you always had a parallel love interest for, or?
I've always liked just cutting up and goofing around, because if you're ever around, like you said, the first 3 years of me knowing you, I was always giving you shit. Why? Because I thought it was funny.
Absolutely.
I understood at the time, but there was a story in that. The story is, if I like you, I'm gonna mess with you. If I don't like you, I'm probably gonna say but hello to you. Maybe you might even get the old high five. I don't know.
Maybe a little 2-finger limper.
Yeah, there you go, brother. I'll get you next time. Here's some natchets.
Yeah.
But I just like to entertain. If entertaining means I get thrown into a wall, or I just say fuck and make fun of cats or something, like, you know, like, it doesn't matter to me. I just like to make people laugh or like to entertain somebody. If they had a bad day, why not make their day better if I can somehow entertain? That has a lot to do with comedy, who I am as a person, and wrestling.
We're going to start getting this to a close. I've got one or two more topics before I get to my famous questions. The Stiff Robo Ginger, how did that come about? Besides the fact that you might be indestructible, I'm not convinced you're not part of the X-Men universe and you have adamantium bones under there and a healing factor, because I've seen you take some hellacious bumps and the cat just jumped up. Did someone say bumps?
Yeah, I need it. I need it in my life.
How did you come up with Stiff Robo Ginger? Besides the obvious, was it something that fans called you that, or an idea that you had maybe etched out, or what was the basis of it?
It was right after Facebook was popular, and then Pierre was like, "Oh, I'm on Twitter now. You should get a Twitter." And then I'm like, "I don't know what Twitter is. I like Facebook. Hey, check out my MySpace." But
whoa.
Yeah,
flashback.
Mine was probably shut down with a whole bunch of weird porn or some shit. But anyways, like I think I was up on my couch one night just watching like Channel 13 for some odd reason. I didn't have cable. I rarely have cable anyways, but like I was watching Channel 13 and then RoboCop was on, and there's a line, I think the first one, where the guy's like, "Oh, my friends call me this, but you can call me RoboCop." And I'm like, huh. I was like, I need a Twitter name and a stupid, goofy nickname. I was like, I'm going to give it to myself. People will hate it. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah, everybody loves it, me included.
Yeah. Then it kind of just morphed into like, because it used to be King Ginger. Right before Stiff Robo Ginger, like, I was just saying, like, I was King Ginger. And then this just kind of took over and made me a superstar I am today. I mean, you know.
Having hanging from the rafters, 18 inches apart.
Yeah, exactly. My cat's still hanging from a rafter somewhere.
And that's great that you're bringing in the cat, because today is Friday when we are recording this, but tomorrow might be your favorite day of the week on social media because it's motherfucking Caturday.
It's Caturday, man. I tell you what, it's a sad day when I'm leaving. I leave home Thursday night or early Friday morning, and I got like 14 pictures that are new of my cat. I was like, gotta upload these for Caturday because I'm goof. And it just I miss my animals, and then it just makes me think, hey, I miss my wife too, and like I like to be home sometimes too. So when I'm in the middle of nowhere, hours and hours away, going, well, that was fun. I had a good time. All right, now I got to sit in the car for ungodly amounts of hours just so I can get home.
That's my wife will send me pictures of the dog sometimes, and I know exactly what you mean, because it'll be like 12 hours one way. You wrestle for your 15 minutes, wait an hour after the show, sign autographs, sell merch, get paid, and you're like, awesome, it's done, and I did it, and it was fun. Fuck, I have 12 hours till I get back home. Good God, no.
Yeah, right?
And he just...
Why do we do this?
Because we secretly hate our lives. That's the real key of it.
For punishment.
Yeah. If anything in my life's going too good, then I have to do something equally as bad to balance it out. Wrestling happens to be that for me.
I usually, if life's going that good, I'll go to a daycare and start handing cigarettes out, just so I know I'm going to hell.
I'm surprised you did the cigarettes at the daycare opposed to the monsters with the little funnel that you just put into their...
Man, monsters are healthy for you, man. There's 0 carbs and 0 calories in that, Daddy. It doesn't matter.
It might actually be how you survived all of this, the secret monster formula. That's the other part of Gary J, the presentation that to me defines you. It's a monster can like this. Am I doing it right? Yeah. One day, I believe that Monster is just going to contact you, and actually, Rob Dietrich is going to fly in from a helicopter on a skateboard, smash onto a rail, grind to you, open up a jacket, and monsters are going to fall on you and say, Gary J, you've done it. Here it is, your sponsorship. And you'll be the first guy sponsored by Monster in professional wrestling.
Oh, man, if that happened, I'd kiss you right in the mouth. So when it happens, I'll be knocking at your door.
So I'm going to clip this until it just says that and just at Rob Dietrich till it happens. Can we, for anyone who's watching this right now, actually let's make that a thing. Yeah. We'll do hashtag Monsters for Gary J until you make it happen.
Exactly. I think it's a thing.
I think they already know who you are.
The next thing you do is take the White House. First.
Speaking of animals, my dogs are coming in here. My wife's looking at me. Before we cut this off, because I'm about to have to go talk to her, because adulthood.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm sure on your rare Friday home, you've got some adulthood you're going to do with your missus tonight as well.
He's probably asleep right now. I'm probably going to watch Happy Gilmore.
God damn it. That's awesome. So at the end of the podcast, I always like to end it in a very similar way every time. Normally I like to... Oh! Papa Hale spotting. That's an amazing shirt.
He bought me dinner. No, he's supposed to be here in 10 minutes to make me watch.
What?
I'm kidding.
Oh, I thought he was actually out there. He'll probably be there Sunday for the Glory Pro show.
For some odd reason, I don't think he is. He's in Chicago for Shimmer.
Ah, okay. But you'll see him at SCI, and boy, am I excited about SCI.
Give me a good time.
But back to the question. This is my podcast, and as you are a guest on my podcast, it is very custom for me to ask my guests one or two questions. One, if you had to give a defining moment for who is Gary J to someone who has never seen you, whether it's a moment that you're proud of or what you feel would be a great introduction to Gary J, what would it be? And also, outside of that, because a moment can be a moment and a match can be a match that if you wanted to give someone a 10-minute to 15-minute introduction, here is Gary J, what would it be? But here's the catch, because this is Dog Days, and I am Carrie Awful, and I am the host, and it's my fucking podcast. I go first, and you can't repeat the answer that I give. So first off, for me, mostly because of the emotional attachment, like, merged into it and everything else, the last Anarchy match, you, Fitchett, Vega, the three-way, all the craziness, everything that's entombed with that, I think that would be definitive. Although I am partial to you, Chip Day from PWF also. Just because that was the first time that someone ever really did anything where, like, oh my god, Chip Day's had this iron clutch on the PWF title, and there was controversy, and there was emotions, and people were like, this isn't the norm. Those would be the moments. Matches, there's a couple different trade-offs. I'm going to go selfishly with you and Trick Cassidy, because I'd helped get Trick down to AWE, but he wasn't verified or validated inside of the fans' eyes yet. He was just a guy that had a cool match with Adrian, and you changed that for Tripp and actually helped Tripp get some of his confidence along. And to me, as someone who cares for Tripp quite a lot, like a brother, and trying to help him get to that, I saw that match. I've even gone back and watched it a couple times by myself. And to me, and as you know as a wrestler, we watch matches once and we're done. But the real good matches are the ones that make you watch every couple weeks or every couple months to revisit and go, God damn it, that was a fun, good match. For yourself, Gary J. And also, since it is my podcast, I'm going to exclude the return to Chikara for the surprise King of Trios too, because I felt like that would have been an easy softball lob.
I'm going to say...
Wait, were you at the King of Trios? Was it you, Vega, and Pierre?
Yeah, when we wrestled the Ants, and it was awesome.
Yeah, okay. I thought I might have had a brain fart there. I was like, oh, god damn, I don't want to say this if I'm wrong.
Yeah, don't mess up the podcast, bro.
Continuity. Ah!
I'm going to say... Man, that's a crazy one. Like, in St. Louis, because that's, like, home promotion, Anarchy, like, moment there, ironically, wasn't a match. It's when I finally lost the title to Matt Fitchett after like 800 and something days, like as champion. And I actually was going to quit that night. I was going to get on the microphone and quit. And like I grabbed the mic, and I'd been going through a lot of heavy stuff personally. And I grabbed the mic and I kind of look around and I just start talking. I didn't know what I was going to say or what I was going to do. But like it started off like, you know, I don't know how much longer I can do this. It kind of like prep the crowd like, hey, I'm done. But like the emotion, I had invested into the time, and the people invested in me. Like I just openly wept, like on the microphone, like crying. I couldn't quit. Like I just stopped like talking about quitting and ended up, you know, going a different way. But like that was a cool moment because like that crowd, the Anarchy crowd, like has seen me grow up. Like this whole St. Louis area, like especially the Alton building, has seen me grow up from like, oh, this guy's pretty good. Like, oh man, like this is the reason why this area is a hot spot right now, is because guys like Gary. And like that night on the microphone, like it was really emotional. It was just a weird moment I had where like I wanted to quit and I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. Like And even Matt, who, you know, Pierre was like, I thought you were done. Like, I thought you were really doing this. I was like, yeah, I thought I was too, but like, I just couldn't. Like, it was this weird moment that I'd never had in the ring before. Like, it meant a lot to me for some reason. I still think about it. And I guess it's one of the things that drives me is like, wow, like, if this many people put this much time and effort into me, why wouldn't I put this much time and effort into myself? So there's that moment, which was cool. And then, let's see. Anytime I get in the ring with Martin Stone, anytime. That dude, I wrestled with him in AWE, and it was right before his first match with Ciampa. And, like, just random match where, you know, we went out there for 12, 15 minutes and just beat the tar out of each other, and he tried to kill me with his spike finish. And, like, I remember him saying in his after-match promo, he's like, if it wasn't for this match, I was going to quit. And me being on the other side of that was like, what? Like, and he was like, he'd also been going through a lot, and I've gotten to know him an awful lot. And by the way, congratulations on the marriage, Martin.
He's a former guest of Dog Days, so I'm sure he's going to hear that.
He's awesome. That dude deserves the world. But, like, because of that match and, like, what he said afterwards, and I guess that weird moment we shared, like he's someone I consider a friend who, you know, I don't see every day or talk to every day. Like, that is a friend in wrestling, not brother, you know? Like, that guy would legit help me to the end of the world, and I would help him to all my capabilities and power because he is that good, and I love that man.
He's
Yeah,
a good
like,
brother.
Him telling me, like, as my wife sits by the door and makes a jerk-off motion.
Mine was just doing the same thing, man. We're
But,
old men, Gary J. We're old married men.
Yeah, right. I'm not old. I have gray hair. But,
Oh, shit. I just got all mine out.
Like, that we share in the ring, like, moments I've shared with certain people in the ring mean the most to me. Like, of course, like, I remember some more than others. There was a match in the early years in Anarchy Championship Wrestling in Texas, back when we went down there a lot. It was myself and Dingo, who's coming back, wrestling Nick Tyson, the guy who trained me, and Pierre Abernathy. And then we wrestled like this just normal tag match. But, like, I remember the Dragon Gate office, like, really liked it because they were there with, like, BB Hulk and stuff like that. And,
That's
like,
sick.
stuff like that I remember. It was just cool because at that time I was like, I'm a dope. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And, like, you work for Dragon Gate, you know? Like, you're telling me I did a good job? That's awesome. Like,
It makes you feel like you're on the right path of, like, because that's what wrestling is basically all of us in the dark chasing our own asses, hoping that we're making headroom, but really we're spinning in circles. Moments like that are those glimmers of hope, like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but I might be inching a little bit closer to it.
And then the most fondest recent memory after that Anarchy, because you already stole that answer, Daddy, is when Pierre retired. His last match was against me. And that meant an awful lot to me. Like, it was just cool. Like, and I'd always told Evan and Pierre, I was like, Evan, your last match is against me. Pierre, your last match is against me, because I'm never going to kill him. Yeah. I'm going to die in this ring.
And you're going to be the guy who says, hey, man, I'll get you next time. Nachos are on the bar.
I'll get you next time, brother. You want some candy corn?
So before we head out here, as I've been telling you in our private messages on our iPhones, social media is so important. So
that's insane.
That's half of what helps me out is just the fact that I stay on my phone instead of at my job doing work like I should be, tweeting and talking about my mind and having nervous breakdowns at least once every 2 or 3 weeks because I'm legit crazy. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
If someone was to find you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, where would they find you?
Instagram, I have none because I'm still jumping into that hula hoop of fun. So no Instagram for me yet. But if you want to look for me in this beautiful hair that is quickly going away,
Let's see if I can.
We have the same haircut. I never say that we do, but we do.
Well, mine looks like I'm in the Misfits now, like I'm Danzig. Oh!
Let's not end up like that. So anyways, if you want to find me on Twitter, just look up @StiffRoboGinger, and then you'll hear all about my cats, my monsters, and I like to have Mexican food an awful lot with a wife, so you're going to see a big old fat margarita in my face, because I do like to indulge in the adult beverage occasionally.
Gary J? Never.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear
Butts, though, he's a lush.
I don't know if you can hear my dogs. I think you can see with nope.
Yep.
There's one of them. Molly, you gonna come up?
So yeah, just look me up on Twitter at StiffRoboGinger, and then if you want to check me out on Facebook, just type in Gary J in the search bar, and I should be the first one that pops up because I'm the only one.
And if someone wanted to buy a t-shirt, I know you could find them at one of my favorite places, FULLYGIMMICKED.com. Hi, Zach and Luna. They just have to go down because you're an ambassador, much like I'm an ambassador, and we love them and they love us.
They're good kissers. What? I love those guys. They're awesome. Those two work their ass off. It's amazing. I love them. So
two of the hardest workers.
The opportunity that you need any kind of work done, you go to their. I think they have a website, Fully Gimmick, right?
They do. You should know these things so they can get your t-shirts for you from that site. Do you have a pro wrestling tees?
No, actually, I don't. I had stories. I probably need one, but I kind of rather work for like the mom and pop shop.
I'm a greedy man. You can find me anywhere. If I could have a t-shirt store on the corner of my street, I would. With that being said, people can find you on YouTube with free matches. I know you and I, whenever we get linked up, we're going to set you up a YouTube.
Oh, Daddy, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to show people what I look like in tube socks.
Oh, dude, we're going to have social media class at SCI. Everyone's going to be getting drunk, including us. And we are going to get to work. Gary, thank you so much for being on Dog Days today. Myself and everyone at Pro Wrestling Ponderings greatly appreciates it. Thank you also for being the first audio-visual guest. Hopefully all of this recorded and I haven't fucked it up because I am prone to fucking things up. Gary, I love you to death. You have a good day tomorrow. I'm going to get out of here because I know I've got adult things I got to do. I'm sure your wife wants you to hang out to do adult things also. And I'll let you know when this is up, okay?
Awesome. I had a great time. Ciao for now.
Following podcast was brought to you by Pro Wrestling Ponderings. Dog Days would like to remind you to be polite, be kind, and that we are all in this together. Until next time, this has been Pro Wrestling Ponderings presents Carry Awful in Dog Days.